Hello, everyone. My name is Leland. Today, I will be introducing this presentation on the research my team and I have done. We decided to take a look at the life of college students at SDSU, focusing on their interaction with and use of technology, specifically AI and social media. We decided to conduct survey research using a range of sociological lenses, including symbolic interactionism, functionalism, and the sociological imagination. Our primary research questions were: how do students see AI? How do students use AI? How do students see social media? How do students use social media? And how does social media help students connect historical events to their personal experiences? College students' views on these topics are broad, but understanding these trends is important because it helps us understand the future of education and social connectivity on college campuses for this generation and generations to come. We surveyed 70 students total, 67 undergraduate and 3 graduate students, which makes undergraduate students our primary focus. Of the 67 undergraduate students we surveyed, 58 were freshmen, 5 were sophomores, and 4 were juniors. When asked for their gender identity, 35 responded male, 34 responded female, and 1 person responded non-binary. The 67 respondents said they were 18 to 20 years old, with 1 person selecting 27 to 29 and 2 people selecting 30 plus. Of our respondents, 35 are STEM majors, 18 are social science majors, 8 are business majors, 3 are arts majors, 3 are humanities majors, and 3 are undeclared. The focus of my research was: how do college students see AI? What meanings do they attach or associate with AI? These questions fall under the sociological lens of symbolic interactionism, which, quote, operates on the basic premise of a cycle of meaning, namely, the idea that people act in response to signs and social signals that hold particular meanings for them, end quote. Our research led to some interesting results. To start, when asked the question, on average you use AI at least once a day, true or false, 51.4% of respondents answered true, while the other 48.6% answered false, almost 50-50. This data is similar to a survey done on over 1,500 students from a multitude of colleges that found a little less than half of respondents used AI, with younger students more likely to use AI. Interestingly, though, when asked, on average, most of the other students at SDSU use AI at least once a day. 90% of respondents answered true, while only 10% answered false. Even factoring into account some response bias, that is, that respondents could be lying, this still shows a disconnect between the amount of students that other respondents think are using AI daily versus how many responded that they are. Another question we asked in our survey was, in your mind, what is AI most similar to? Given the options a sword, a shield, a compass, a mirror, or a hammer, a whopping 74.3% of respondents answered a compass. This shows that the majority of college students at SDSU see AI as a guiding tool, something to help them find direction. A compass can be used in various environments, reflecting how AI can adapt to different contexts and needs. There is an important distinction between a compass and a map. It can provide some direction, but doesn't show the entire landscape, the entire picture. This can symbolize the limitations of AI. It can imitate, but not fully understand, the complexities of the human experience or the nuances of every situation. The two second most common responses, both at 8.6%, were a hammer and a sword. Choosing a hammer can symbolize seeing AI as a tool that has the potential to create and or destroy, while choosing a sword can symbolize seeing AI as a weapon that can be used to both harm or protect, but with important emphasis on the wielder of the sword. Contrary to the previous question, when asked, consider any interactions you've had with AI. Do you see AI more like a servant, a genie, a partner, or a teacher? Responses were much more evenly distributed in this question. The majority was a teacher at 30%, with a partner and a servant both at around a quarter, 27 and 26% respectively. Finally, a genie was given by about 17% of respondents. Interestingly, a teacher has very similar meanings attached to it as a compass from the last question. However, a teacher was the majority response by a very slim margin, which shows that perhaps students at SDSU and maybe college students everywhere can largely agree on what kind of tool AI is, but not what AI represents on a more human-on-human interaction-based lens.
Hello, everyone. My name is David, and my research focused on how college students use AI. Looking at the results from our survey and other research, out of the 70 responses we got, 36 believed that they would use AI with their job post graduation, and 34 thought that they would not. This is not surprising data, since it was the same amount of students who claimed they used AI at least once a day, 36, and those who did not, 34. However, this was very misleading because based on our prior research, many businesses and jobs are starting to transition to using AI in the workplace to automate up to, quote, 70% of business activities across almost all occupations, end quote. This will be an issue for college students moving forward who will be forced into a business world with AI surrounding them. With little experience in using AI, they are setting themselves up for failure. With these students having the notion that they will not have to use it at all in their future occupation, they are misreading the current and future roles that AI will hold in society. I believe that this is because AI has many, quote, functions that may be manifest, explicit, or latent, hidden, end quote. As AI develops more and grows into a more useful tool, the hidden functions that AI possesses will be seen much more frequently in the workplace, and it will be necessary for incoming workers to adapt to these changes. Another important issue to look at is how college students use AI on a more personal level to understand where their expertise lies in using AI because, quote, the best way to analyze society was to identify the roles that social phenomena, AI, play, end quote. Through our research, we analyzed the roles that AI played on a college student through the lenses of whether or not they use it to solve problems, give advice, write up something for them, cheat, look things up, or help them study on a daily basis. When analyzing these results, the biggest outliers came from the daily advice data, the daily cheating data, and the daily look things up data. We found that almost 50% of students did not use AI for advice daily, and those that did often or very often were under 15%. This research shows that AI is not valued for its effective advice to college students, and whether or not AI can give effective advice is something we would need to further research to confirm the accuracy of this data. In terms of daily cheating data, 60% of students said they never used AI to cheat, and those who did it often or very often were at 8.5%. This data seems to correlate with the fact that the advice from AI is not trusted, and therefore students should not use it to cheat, and further research should be taken on how many students do in fact cheat to see whether or not AI is being used when they do it or not. Finally, the most even data was whether or not AI was used to look something up daily. 31.4% of students did it often or very often, while 31.4% did it never or almost never. Finally, the other 37.1% said they did it sometimes. This shows a three-way split, with AI being used to look things up, with students taking three majorly different approaches to using AI to search for information.
Hello, my name is Vanessa Calderon, and my research is focused on college students and social media through a symbolic interactionist approach. Symbolic interactionism aims to understand how people create shared meanings through everyday interactions. By connecting this sociological concept to our survey, we were trying to determine the value college students place on social media and how they interpret online material. One question we asked was, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you care about the content you post on social media? Our results showed that about 55.7% of respondents answered 5 or above, and 44.3% of respondents chose 4 or below. This reflects back to the looking glass self theory, in which individuals assume the point of view of others and thereby imagine how they see us. Interactions in which this case are likes, comments, and shares have an influence on the user and their self-identity. This also ties to Goffman's term, face, also known as impression management, because it reflects how people are constantly associating the way they are being perceived and therefore strive to make the best impression, especially in the social media world. Moving forward to the next question, how does social media make you feel? The most common answers were happiness at 24.3%, laughter 15.7%, and guilt 14.3%. It was very interesting to find that guilt was one of the top answers, and people are self-aware of how time-consuming social media can be. The American Public University states, constant interaction with an online platform triggers the brain's rewards area, chemically in the same way as drugs. This is a critical issue for college students because addiction to cellular devices affects so many aspects of learning. It's also incredible to note that even though they are self-aware of this addiction, it's hard for them to stop because so much value is placed on staying up to date with everything on social media. Lastly, when asked if social media connects them to broader societal trends, 45% of respondents agreed, and many stated that it connects them to topics they are interested in. As the American Public University says, connections help maintain relationships and interests, fostering a sense of belonging, self-esteem, and support. If we connect this all together, it can help us understand how social media reaffirms individuals' beliefs and this connects to their construction of self-identity. Ultimately, college students value social media because it allows them to express self-identity, stay up to date with trends, and connect with like-minded individuals.
Hello, my name is Abril Santana, and the focus of my research was how do college students use social media? This falls under the idea of functionalism and how functionalism appears in social media. In our survey, we asked SDSU students how they use social media and if they believe it has significance in society. This is a functionalist view of social media, as commonly states, as a, quote, complex group of interdependent positions that together perform a social role and reproduce themselves over time. For my first question, I asked, what do you most commonly use social media for? The majority of students said that they use social media for entertainment, which was 55.07%, and communication, which was 34.78%. The results were as expected, as social media was created with the intent of socialization. As for the rest of the results, 5.80% said that they use social media for education, 1.45% said that they use social media to get news updates, and the last 1.45% said that they only use YouTube. The interesting thing about the rest of the results was that only 1.45% use social media for news updates. This means that only a small percent of college students use social media to see what's happening worldwide. This was a concern of functionalism because even though social media's main function is communication, it can also be used to inform. According to Rice University, people are too overwhelmed with media input to really care about the issue. The issue being real-world problems that people should care about. From this, we get people to be experiencing narcotizing dysfunction. This is the idea of being so overwhelmed and so submerged in social media that people aren't focusing on real-world issues. They're simply aware of the issues, but they are not being active about the issue. Moving on to the next question. When asked, do you believe that social media has impacted how our society is structured? The majority chose yes, which was 98.60%, while only 1.40% chose no. It is assumed that the majority believe that social media not only has made an impact on how society is structured, but also that social media functions with society. The conclusion that I came to was that college students use social media daily, mostly to entertain themselves or to communicate with friends and family. Most college students believe that social media is a big part of their life, and they believe that it affects every other part of society as well. Without a society, we wouldn't have social media that is directed toward a specific society. The main concept of social media is that it, quote, has a structure or system, has a specific function or purpose. Functions contribute to the overall stability of society. In other words, social media's main function and purpose is to connect society.
Hello, I am Luke, and thank you for joining us today. I will discuss sociological imagination, the ability to connect personal experiences with broader societal forces, as C. Wright Mills describes. I will use this concept to examine social media and education. Starting with social media, it impacts politics, society, and history. Social media boosts voter engagement but spreads misinformation and deepens polarization. Socially, it amplifies marginalized voices, but also fuels harassment. Historically, it records events in real time, but often distorts narratives with sensationalism, blurring long-term perspectives. While it facilitates engagement, it also contributes to misinformation and division. In our survey, we asked respondents, do you feel like social media helps you connect your personal experiences to broader societal trends? They were given a yes or no option. 54.3% said no, while 45.7% said yes. Coming into the study, I predicted that the respondents would have said no because I theorized that most societal trends come from in-person interactions. As predicted, the outcome aligned with my hypothesis. Social media was designed to enhance connectivity, but real societal trends come from deeper roots like culture. Social media often promotes social isolation because it takes away time from face-to-face interactions. Another question we asked our respondents was, if you answered yes to the previous question, please describe an instance where you remember social media helping you connect a personal experience to a broader societal trend. This was actually an open response question. In contrast to the other question, the open responses suggested that social media was beneficial for finding resources. People found mental health outlets in physical guidance and assistance. They also found hard-to-reach communities alongside networking opportunities. While we found that social media may negatively impact its users, this open response question gave us a qualitative look as to how it can positively impact them. Another question we asked our respondents was, do you think social media has increased your understanding of current or past social issues like race, gender, or inequality? This was a yes or no response. 81.4% said yes, while 18.6% said no. A vast majority of our respondents said yes. They believe that social media has increased their understanding of current or past social issues. I hypothesized that they would say yes, because social media is a very accessible and is a very multifaceted resource for its users. Social media can help give marginalized communities a platform and possibly a voice in the political scene. This question explores another plausible benefit for social media users. This can help spread political awareness and voices to communities in need. Using sociological imagination, we can see how the political, social, and historical contexts are connected to our research questions. Here is our bibliography. Thank you for listening and have a great day.